Welcome to Trash Talk with Trista, a podcast from Ramsey, Washington Recycling and Energy. I'm the Executive Director, Trista Martinson. Today's episode brings an international perspective to Trash Talk with Trista. We're joined by Sophia and Lasse, our interns from Germany, to compare recycling systems, cultural attitudes, and what each country can learn from each other. First, I've got Sophia Fiswick, a 27-year-old mechanical engineering student from Northwest Germany, graduating in September of 2026. She completed an apprenticeship as a technical product designer in machinery and plant engineering. And then Lasse Radke is a 21-year-old student from Münster, Germany. He started his bachelor's degree in industrial engineering with a focus on mechanical engineering in September of 2023 and will finish his degree in the end of 26 or maybe in the beginning of 2027, which is how it goes here in the States too. Welcome to both of you. Thanks for being on Trash Talk.
Thank you so much for having here.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So maybe we'll just start with an easy question. Like, what brings you to Ramsey, Washington Recycling and Energy? And how did you get to Minnesota? Do you want to start, Sophia?
Oh, yeah. So there's a program in our university. And yeah, Lasse and I got the opportunity to make an apprenticeship, an internship at Ramsey, Washington Recycling and Energy. And yeah, I'm so glad to be here to experience all that. And yeah, Lasse, what about you?
Yeah, so we got the chance to apply for the Climate Smart Municipalities program, and it was a great chance, and obviously we wanted to take it. And so we applied, and we are very lucky to get the internship because many people applied, and we are lucky. Yeah. We got it, and also we are very, very lucky to to be at Ramsey, Washington Recycling and Energy, because we also talked to the other students, and we kind of compared who is where, and since we really like Minneapolis and St. Paul, and we are very happy to just be here, and also the people around and the other employees are so welcoming, and it's really nice. We really enjoyed.
Awesome. You get extra bonus points for plugging Ramsey, Washington Recycling and Energy. So neither of you had experience in the trash industry or recycling before coming here, right?
No.
This is your first time working in garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so this is what I want to know. So you have fresh eyes, and I know recently you just did a waste characterization, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you explain what that is? What did you get to do?
Oh, so there is this food scrap bags program in Ramsey and Washington County. And with foods, we did a waste characterization of those bags. So, do a lot of sortation with organics, and but it was very fun. We were 5 people down there, and it was very interesting, to see what it's going good, what it's going bad, what kind of waste is in those bags, and how much also, Yeah.
And also very different to Germany already, because just having robots who select things from the waste stream is way different, because in Germany, people, the people are selecting.
Yes.
And having robots and seeing that they select for the people is very different, and it was very interesting to see. And even though it was a little bit dirty, we had fun. It was great. Yeah,
it's a pretty smelly job.
Yes,
Dirty jobs.
Yes, but we were lucky with the weather though, because if it would have been more warm the days before, it could have been more.
Yeah, you'll be glad not to do it this week when it's 85 degrees.
Yes. Very glad.
So talk to me a little bit about how it's done in Germany. You mentioned people are pre-sorting, but every house has 4 bins. Is that right?
Yeah. 4 bins. One is blue. That's the paper bin. The yellow one is packaging and aluminum, plastics, stuff like that. Then a brown bin for the organics, and then there's the black bin, and it's mostly a little bit smaller, and that's just the other waste, the residual waste. And then for the glasses, we got some extra containers, and for batteries, you can bring them to the supermarkets. So it's really the task of the consumer to put the trash the right way, because if you buy something, you are responsible for putting it away the right way. And I feel like here it's the responsible of the companies, for example, of Ramsey Washing, Recycling and Energy, to do that. And it's very different, and it really was crazy, especially in the first weeks, realizing like you got robots who pick it out for you, even though people could just put it in another bin. And just also seeing that many people don't even know that or what to put in those bags was also like kind of shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So did you see a lot of contamination in the organics bag?
It was okay, but still a little bit. Like some people just put like the whole package of something when it's like
in the plastic wrap and all, and
they just put it all in.
Bad celery, the whole thing went in. Right?
Yeah.
We need people to take them out of those plastic bags. Just put the celery in.
Yes.
Yes. Lasse mentioned, Sophia, when you think about personal responsibility and the waste stream, I mean, that's a big difference in culture, right? In Germany, everyone is personally responsible and they take that responsibility seriously. There's also some penalties if they don't do it right. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's absolutely right. So, for example, when you like put something in like the paper bin, like plastic or something like that, the haulers who pick the trash up, take sometimes a look in the bin, and when they like see there's plastic in the paper bin, you get like a short sticker or something like that on your bin.
Like a ticket.
Yeah, like a ticket.
Yeah.
Mm. And when that happens like 3 or 4 times, your whole bin is taken away from you, and you have to put your, like, for this example, your paper, you have to drive to a facility and put it there, and that costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. So there's penalties. That the ticket isn't a fine in itself, but the fact that you will lose the bin, there's a cost.
Yeah.
So it goes in steps.
Yeah.
So first you get a ticket, then you kind of get a second one, then you need to pay money, and then they take your bin away.
Wow.
So it's kind of like...
So it's punitive.
Yeah.
That's very different than here. Here we're trying to persuade people to do the right thing and give them little gifts along the way, right?
Yes.
Wow. What other things has been so shocking to you when it comes to waste here in Minnesota compared to Germany?
I think really the biggest thing for me is what I already mentioned, like the responsibility of the consumers. That, like, I think that's the main difference for me, because I was like, it's gonna be the same, but also what I saw in the city someday, like there was a trash bin, and then it had different like openings for different things, for example glass and plastics, and then they all resulted in one bag. So it has like 3 different openings, but all went in one bag. So I was like, that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense.
Yes, but that's crazy.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah. But I think that's for me in general, just like the responsibility of the consumers, and also of the companies who sell products, because the packaging is also very different in Germany. Like
yes.
Yeah. I thought that how people think here about waste. So I thought it could be so easy to like have different bins, put it there, and also like the responsibility in companies who produce like packaging, bottles, also like the deposit system for bottles in Germany, that it don't happen here.
Right.
That was shocking for me. Or I had to thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be really surprising, because now you all have a house with some roommates and you're going grocery shopping. What does that feel like compared to Germany?
Oh, a lot of packaging. And also for me, it was so weird to like throw like water bottles or soda bottles in the trash,
Right.
because so in Germany you have to keep those bottles, and you get you can like deposit in supermarket there and get 25 cents back
Yeah.
from that. So they reuse every single bottle a couple of times. So yeah, that was so weird for me to like throw bottles away.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I bet.
I think going to the supermarket the first time was really, because it's my first time in the United States.
Yes.
So it was really, I was just standing there and like my eyes were literally falling off because like so much, and like just for example Oreos. And
Right.
in Germany you got like maybe two different types of Oreos. The normal
Yeah.
ones and the one with a little bit more of the cream inside. And then here you got like a whole like you can choose between like 15 or 20 different types of Oreos. So I was really like, I didn't even know, like when I went into the supermarket I had a strict plan of what I wanted to buy, but after I got in I wanted to buy everything but nothing at the same time. So it was very difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about the Oreos. I have my youngest son is addicted to Oreos, and I'm like, what are orange Oreos or
Yeah.
superhero Oreos?
Yeah.
Like, and they all taste the same. I think.
Yes.
I don't know. It's more food coloring.
Yes.
That's wild. Yeah, you're right. So, have you had the opportunity to order something for delivery and to see how much packaging comes with ordering, like Amazon or something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so I brought something from Amazon, and if you order something, you can like click if you want to package it in like paper packages, or if you want to send it in this, I don't know, in its own like
Right.
bag. Like
Yeah.
if you want to order I don't know, a face cream or something,
Yeah.
it can be. Don't be packed.
Yeah, with less packaging.
Mhm,
Yeah.
yeah. And I don't think that we have that in Germany.
Okay.
So it's like advantages here.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
great. Well,
Yeah.
let's talk about that. Have you seen anything that we're maybe getting right or not doing so bad?
I think like just already the food square program is like, because we don't live in Ramsey or Washington County.
Right.
So like we also like, that's one thing, like we wanted to kind of get some food scrap bags
Yeah.
for our house.
Yeah, you can.
And yeah, that's one thing.
Yeah.
And in comparison to Germany, I think like one of our roommates and also some people in Germany, like they are also sometimes like exhausted by like you have to do everything on your own. So that's really the big advantage of the waste system here, because like people can be lazy sometimes.
Right.
So, and that's something for sure. It's on the one hand, if you view it as the company, it's very like you have to do many things and like getting the robotics and like it's very, very much. But on the other hand, if you are the consumer, it's very chill and you can be very, very like, you don't have to worry about anything basically. You can just like chill and buy your stuff, and that's something like you don't have to worry about like bringing your trash to a container, because this is the only way it can be separated correctly. So that's something which is a big advantage, I think, because it's way more consumer friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about the attitudes around the climate or sustainability here compared to Germany?
Oh, I think Minnesota, it's like they think a lot about this.
Mhm.
I think maybe, I don't been to other states in the US, but I think maybe in other states it's like a little bit different,
Mhm.
a little bit like down.
Yeah.
Like they don't think so much about the climate. and in Germany, I think it's more from the government side that they think a lot about the climate and the climate change and all of that, and not so much the people who live in Germany.
Sure.
So some, but I think a lot of like also in smaller cities don't think so much about that.
Yeah.
I think it's more from the government in Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think the same as Sophia. I think Minnesota in general is very very, especially when you look at the whole United States, it's like very I don't know, like progressive. I don't know what you call it. Yeah,
right.
And so that's really impressive, and that's also what our program shows. I think, like, because it's the program only is in Minnesota, so like just by that. And then also the thing Sophia mentioned, like with the politics, like that's something I would say I noticed in general as well, because in Germany, like landfilling was banned like for just normal residual waste many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of to get at a certain point, like in general with the whole waste system and the waste flow, you need to have some laws, and I think the lobby against this is very big here.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's also because Germany is, I think, about the size as Minnesota is, but it's like, I don't know how many much more people, but it's so much more dense. So like just because of this fact, like it just makes sense that landfilling is more popular here, because if you have so much space, you can just use it, and for sure it's cheap. But I think in general, just here and especially the people we've talked to, like the climate change and the climate in general is a very big topic, and we definitely notice it at work already. Like seeing, I wouldn't thought that I would notice it that frequently here, but for example, just many people carpool to our work, and that's something like in Germany they do it too, but I wouldn't thought about that so many people would do it in the US as well. So that was pretty nice to see.
Excellent. We're living our values. I love that. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So now you've had this taste for a couple months. You're here until September, working in waste. You never thought you would. How is it going to change you? Do you think you work on this when you go back to Germany, or just changes your mindset?
I have thought about that, and I am a mechanical engineering, and maybe I would love to do something with robotics.
Yeah.
And also, I already looked companies in Germany that do waste sorting. And I'm very interested in doing that for my future.
Yeah. Excellent. How about you, Lasse?
Yeah, that's the same for me. I really think it, like, this whole program showed me that I want to do something with my degree afterwards, which really benefits us all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like you can really, especially even though out of the US and also out of Germany, like there are some countries, especially like more like third world countries, when like their trash system, they don't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are many opportunities to solve problems. Like, for example, what I saw and what kind of caught my attention during the internship here was like some rivers in Bali, for example. They are literally, you cannot see the water because there's so many plastics in there. But there are some companies who kind of produce some intelligent nets.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something very interesting for me. And also at the Wamswana, we talked to a company which produces pumps for the landfills, so they can get the methane out of it. And that's something which also caught my eye. So I'll definitely want to do, at least like try and look for it, because I think it's very niche, but I really like it, and I definitely want to try to go in that niche.
Excellent. That's awesome. We're glad that we can influence you in this way, in a positive way. So, okay, so we'll stop talking trash for a moment. Tell me what's been the best thing since you've been to Minnesota. What have you experienced? I know you guys are taking it all in.
Yes.
So on this weekend, I went to Rochester to one of the students and visit her. And we went to the Whitewater State Park.
Oh, yes.
And it was so wonderful. I loved the nature there. I loved the lakes there. I loved it all. Yeah.
And the best part is there's no mosquitoes at Whitewater State Park.
Oh, yeah, right.
Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
All of Minnesota is mosquitoes except Whitewater State Park.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice,
So even better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and for me, I think it's difficult for me to kind of get at just one thing. But in general, I would say the most amazing is the people. Like everybody I've talked to, everybody I've spoken to, like is so welcoming and so nice, and I really enjoy it. And also very like upcoming. Like in Germany, it's very common that you kind of don't speak to that many people, and it's like a little bit more and you don't really like, you need to be very confident in yourself to speak to people, and just learning that and seeing that is very nice. And also I love living near the Mississippi.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful, especially during this time now, since everything is green, and just walking around the river and going for a jog and stuff like that. I really enjoy it. I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
That's awesome. Okay, so how do you explain this to your family when you call home? When they say, "What are you doing?"
Oh my God, I think I like can describe that in words.
Yes.
So as I drive home from Rochester last day, I were so like overwhelming because everything is so nice. The people are so nice. I love all the nature here. I love also the city, Minneapolis. You can do so much. Also like do thrifting.
Yeah.
I love that. And yeah, I think I will describe it exciting, beautiful, and I also, what Lasse mentioned, I will take that home so to speak to people, to do more like small talk, to help people more. That, yeah, I think that will I talk to my parents. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
For me, it's also, I think in words, it's very different to describe. So I'll just try to take as much pictures as possible and then just, show them around and just describe it as good as possible. But it will be different, difficult, unfortunately.
Yeah. Do you think you'll come back again to visit us?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of
Good.
course. Yeah.
Well, you never know. You might want to just come here and work permanently.
Oh, yeah.
It's always a possibility. Well, thank you so much for coming and chatting and sharing about the differences between the U.S. and Germany and how we think about waste, but also, most importantly, thank you for being such awesome interns and helping us with our projects, even when they're stinky and dirty jobs. But somebody's got to do it. So thank you so much. Thanks again for listening to Trash Talk with Trista. Every conversation helps us better understand how we can reduce waste, recover resources, and build a more sustainable future together. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone. We'll see you next time.